Okay, we're going to start our press conference. If anyone would like to take a seat, please do. Thank you. I'm Jeff Pomerantz, City Manager, City of Cedar Rapids. Good morning, everybody. This is our third press conference regarding the flood of 2016. Joined this morning by our sign interpreters to assist the deaf community so they can hear our proceedings. The preparations are continuing as we continue to protect the city of Cedar Rapids from predicted high water levels and likely flooding. The city is gratified by the support we've received from the community. We have this morning a number of individuals here representing the federal, state, and local levels of government. And again, this is a situation that no entity can handle on its own. And between the business community, our citizens, and our partners in government, we deeply appreciate and need the support. I'm also joined this morning by Mayor Ron Corbett, as well as members of the Cedar Rapids City Council, and their leadership throughout this situation is greatly appreciated and valued. We have a number of our department directors here this morning that will be speaking, as well as representative from Alliant Energy, Doug Cobb. First off today, again, in addition to our general community, the volunteers have been absolutely phenomenal, and it's not surprising because Cedar Rapidians and Iowans always step up in times like these to help their fellow Iowans, but we certainly find the level of volunteerism absolutely amazing. So thank you to the volunteers. We need you. We appreciate all of you. While we appreciate and still need our volunteers, we're also asking our citizens to please stay out of the downtown area and affected neighborhoods unless you live or have business needs in the area or assisting a homeowner or business. We understand the interest and curiosity, but increased traffic and pedestrians make it difficult for those working to protect the property of the citizens of Cedar Rapids. Please be respectful of those who are directly affected by the event. So the point is, we're all trying to help each other. We know that there's interest and curiosity as to what's going on with the river levels and potential impacts, but whether it's our public safety departments or individuals with dump trucks, other kinds of heavy equipment, sand coming to critical areas, we need to make sure that we minimize the amount of traffic on our roadways. That is really important right now. We had reports yesterday of it taking a significant amount of time for some heavy equipment to get to proper destination because of the amount of traffic and in some cases just onlookers. So please assist us. We're also asking that people traveling avoid, again, the downtown area and use 380 for access across the river. Again, this will help traffic flow in critical areas of downtown as further projections are put in place. Our team of employees and our partners have been working around the clock. Since 2008, the city staff, our leadership team, we've learned a great deal about how to respond to a potential event such as this. And whether it's through acquisitions of properties or new kinds of technology, infrastructure, our planning process that was put into place after 2008 the city is in a far, far better place. The best example I can think of is the work that was done at our water plant and wastewater plants. Those facilities are not in jeopardy because of the infrastructure improvements that have been made to city systems and city properties. There is many, many other examples where individuals and facilities that were in harm's way in 2008 are not in that position today. Yet we still have a very significant situation, and we appreciate the citizens of Cedar Rapids taking this event so seriously, because it is a serious, serious event. With that, we have a number of speakers today to give detailed updates, and the first person I'd like to call upon is Jen Winter, our Director of Public Works.
Thank you. Good morning. Yesterday, crews and contractors continued to work on providing protection to the system on both sides of the river. We put up HESCO barriers along 16th Avenue, 8th Avenue, 1st Avenue. Crews will continue today on working along the east side of the river behind City Hall and working the way down to the south. On the west side, we had contractors working on both HESCOs and berms, as well as city crews helping with berms. We're bringing up the elevation of the existing berm that is along the river, along Ellis, and Czech Village, an earth berm to access the landfill and to the 12th Avenue Bridge. And today we'll also be starting some berm work in the Round Pot area down on the east side. The important message for today, as Jeff mentioned, is we will continually be having to restrict access and implement road closures throughout the day. So we're asking everyone who doesn't need to be in the area to be aware of that. In order to get into the area, as the day goes on, there will be restricted access, and you'll have to have a purpose and a need to be within the flood areas. We'll have barriers going across the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Avenue bridges to put the HESCO system in place in those areas. The perimeter of the entire downtown will be delineated to restricted access to the downtown, allowing those needing access to be able to get in. The 16th Avenue Bridge was closed last evening in order to get the HESCOs in place in that area. And more road closures will come throughout the day as we continue to get these flood protection measures in place. We do continue to provide sandbagging supplies. Currently in operation, we have 2 locations: the old Kmart site off of 16th and Williams, and at Hawkeye Downs. We anticipate bringing lighting to these sites so that we can allow both of them to stay open even through the night. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Next, I'd like to call upon Chief Mark English, our Fire Chief.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. Just to give you some information about what's been going on since we knew a flood was coming up to this point, and then plans for the future. We have an incident command team, also called an incident management team, that they will officially activate our incident command post at the new Central Fire Station tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. What that means is there's been a team of employees from different departments throughout the state: finance, logistics, operations, planning, safety, to address the needs of the events currently and the upcoming events. Once that ICP, or Incident Command Post, again is activated, that will operate 24/7 until the threat of the flood has diminished. Planning functions have been ongoing and will continue through Saturday until the activation. We are asking residents of the affected area, which the evacuations plans for the affected area are at the 28-foot level. The current level projected to crest is at 25.3. The reason we picked 28 is because that level has fluctuated, and we're also planning on the side of safety. The inundation area on the detailed maps as well as list of address will be available on the city website and may be available as we speak. The residents in those inundated areas, we're asking residents and businesses and industries in those affected areas to evacuate by 8 p.m. tomorrow, Sunday. Please heed that warning, make preparations, secure your properties, and get out of the potential flooded areas. There are approximately 5,800 parcels in the evacuation area. We will be evacuating this area where they are protected because they are projected to get water, or water may prohibit us, emergency services, to get to your property. If your home address is on the list within this area, we ask that you secure your possessions and leave your property, as I said previously. We are partnering with Linn County Emergency Management, will assist, and they will help us assist in notifying evacuation areas using their phone communication system. We also ask local media to share this message, and we will post information on the city's website, and we ask the media to help us with posting on their sites and through the social media sites. Again, as we started stating the last 2 days, our number one priority is the safety of our personnel and especially the public. We want to continue the safe operations we've had in the past and make this as good of an event as 08 was as far as no one getting hurt. Thank you very much.
And as a reminder, as we've done the last couple of days, we will also have questions and answers after the mayor makes his. Good morning, thank you. As Chief English just indicated, with the evacuation, we will be enacting and enforcing a curfew in the evacuated and flood-affected areas. We are looking at the curfew to begin at 8 p.m. and go through 7 a.m. the following morning. We will be working with the City Attorney's Office to coordinate this legal process. The National Guard has been requested, and we hope to have them in place in the flood-affected areas. Also, additional law enforcement officers from the state have also been requested to assist our efforts. We've identified through those maps 73 checkpoints throughout the affected areas that we expect to have these National Guard troops and additional officers assigned to these areas to ensure that residents and the properties remain safe. For everybody's information, the Linn County Jail is planning their evacuation to begin today. With respect to the businesses here within Cedar Rapids, some employees and business owners in the downtown area will not be able to get to some of their buildings. They will need to close these buildings, as Chief English indicated. Those employees who are considered essential should have identification to allow officers who are manning the checkpoints and restricted areas to allow these employees access so they can carry out their essential duties. After the floodwaters recede, their area will be searched by teams and cleared as needed. The initial inspections will occur by these teams made up of public safety and members of the utility companies. The teams will work to determine when residents can go back to their properties and businesses. We anticipate that some should plan to be out of their homes and businesses for up to 7 days. After 7 days, people may be allowed access to their properties, but may not be able to move in for safety purposes. As City Manager Pomerantz asked, and I have to emphasize,
for those persons who do not live in these affected areas or have reasons to be in the downtown area, I'm pleading, please refrain from coming into these areas so that public safety and public utility workers and other members, the contractors that are putting these protection efforts into place can operate without disruption. I would like now allow Diane Weber, who is the director of the Cedar Rapids Animal Care and Control Facility, to give you some information and the members of the city who will be evacuating their homes, what they can do with their pets upon leaving. Diane?
Good morning and thank you. Cedar Rapids Animal Care and Control is prepared to help those pet owners who have to evacuate with their animal care needs. We are encouraging people to begin now in seeking out alternative resources for housing their pets, such as family and friends that are outside the area, daily pet boarding or daycare centers, veterinary clinics. The shelter should be their last resort, so that leaves space available for those who have no other resources available. We're also preparing a list of those available local resources that can help you in terms of housing for your pets. So if you need that assistance, please give us a call at 286-5993. And if you need any other animal care assistance, please give us a call. And Animal Care and Control will be open in their day-to-day animal control operations throughout the community, but with the shelter will be closed for adoptions and the intake of owner surrenders and stray and feral cats at this time, to leave as much space open to help the evacuees and with their pet care needs. So again, if there are any questions or you have needs for assistance, please give us a call at 286-5993. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Now I'd like to call Steve Hirschner, our Director of Utilities.
Thank you. Steve Hirschner, Utilities Director. As mentioned by the City Manager, we are currently operating normally at our water treatment facility. Our staff is in watchful waiting mode, pending the flood conditions that will arrive on Monday. We are also installing a berm around our Bowling Street booster station as a precautionary measure. For water pollution control, our pump usage and influent levels are typical for the current conditions that we see in the river, approximately 9.5 feet. Solids handling systems are in standby through the duration of the flood crest, so we can focus on liquid treatment operations as well as flood management. Solid waste and recycling, we've been staging our trucks away from the City Services Center and the congestion in the potential flood area. Normal collection services next week are expected, pending street access and standing water in potentially impacted areas. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Now I'd like to call Doug Kopp, Alliant Energy. Alliant has been a very, very strong partner with the city, and it's times like this when I think all of us have an even greater appreciation for our utility partners.
Thanks, Jeff. I'm going to start off with something I said yesterday. Certainly, safety is the #1 issue. Electricity and water don't mix, so be very cautious, everyone, when it comes to going into a flooded basement or anything of that nature. You can get some more information on how to be safe in a flood situation at alliantenergy.com, flood safety. So we're working our plan, and that's part of it's going pretty well. I want to let you know that our operating office along Schaefer Road, we expect to be impacted, and we are moving equipment to another location. That saves our equipment, but also puts us in a position to be better able to respond as time goes on through the flood. If your home or business becomes flooded, please feel free to contact us. We expect to keep power on if at all possible. And I'll go back to the safety message. The key driver for us in shutting off power will be public safety. So we are evaluating on a block-by-block basis what is expected to happen in Cedar Rapids, and we will contact customers as we see situations develop. The biggest issue is when customer equipment is going to be submerged. That will create a safety issue, and we'll have to look at shutting the power off in that area. So I just want you to be aware of that, because that is an ongoing process, and we will be in touch with you. We've made a lot of improvements since 2008, and those improvements are allowing us to be able to be very strategic and situational in this effort. We have received a number of requests, so the requests for shutting off power are starting to come in. We have actually, to give you a little perspective, upstream we have begun to shut off power and gas in Vinton and Palo. So that's already starting to take place. So you need, if you want to be shut off, or if you have questions, particularly if you want to be shut off, let me say that. If you want your power to be disconnected, you can call Linn Energy and just say emergency. That will get you to an individual who's issued the order to shut off your power. If you have other questions, you can contact us as well, but the emergency word is there for people who have to have their power shut off or have some other emergency. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Doug. Our last speaker will be Mayor Ron Corbett. After the mayor makes his comments, we will entertain questions from the media and any member of the audience. And we also have Mike Goldberg here as well from Linn County Emergency Management, and Mike will be available for questions as well regarding the county as a whole. Mayor Ron Corbett.
Good morning, everyone. My son's at the Naval Academy. I love the military, but I'm partial to the Navy. He last year was part of the rowing team, commonly referred to as the crew. So I wore my crew shirt today to represent what has happened over the last 2 days and what needs to happen over the next 2 days. Do you believe in miracles? I do. I've just witnessed one the last 2 days. Tuesday night, the crest was predicted to be 15 feet. By Wednesday afternoon, 24 feet. And we've been able to mobilize over the last 2 days to protect this city. But there's still work to be done. I mentioned on day one we have a team. We do. And that team continues to grow each and every day. I want to thank all the volunteers, all the support, all the people. Just last night we had CRST, had drivers hauling HESCO barriers in the middle of the night from Iowa City here to Cedar Rapids. Musco Lighting drove up a truck so they could have the lights up and we could work 24 hours a day. And one of our public employees worked through the night to unload all those HESCO barriers so they were ready first thing this morning for the crews. I said the team had a plan, and that plan continues to expand each and every day. And that will continue over the next 2 days. And I said we're executing. The team would execute. And we are executing. We got 2 more days, so let's look at it this way. We're a little tired. Some of us are a little frustrated, and there's obviously some stress in the community. But it's overtime. We need to push hard these next 2 days to be fully prepared for that crest on Monday. So if you still have it in you to volunteer, we want you to volunteer. Please come down to one of the sandbagging locations, Hawkeye Downs or the old Kmart on 16th Avenue. Or please call 211. A lot of people need to move stuff out of their basements and first floor yet. So please call 211 to help out. If you're not going to help out, you're not physically able to, we understand. But you can still be part of the crew by staying away from the inundated area. That's how you can best help if you can't volunteer. Is to stay home, watch things through the media, and not to interfere with what is going on in the inundated zone. Showing respect for the people that need to move their possessions and their belongings out, and also the heavy equipment that goes in and out for your safety and for theirs. Let me address the evacuation. No community makes a decision to evacuate their citizens on a whim. We know it's a very stressful event for someone to have to leave their home, leave their belongings, and walk away. Home is our castle. It's our sacred place. It's our sanctuary. And to walk away, it's difficult. The reason that we're announcing this today is to give everybody some time to think about it, some time to visit with family, to visit with friends, as you prepare for that decision. So today, we want you to take care of your possessions and your pets. So tomorrow, you can take care of yourself. And I know the first response for most everybody would be me. I'm not leaving. I'm staying. I've moved out once, I'm not doing it again. I'm not afraid of the river. I don't think it will be that bad. But please think about it over the next 24 hours, if that is the right decision. I hope that you will consider and take heed and evacuate as we're recommending by Sunday night at 8 o'clock. See, we have emergency personnel that are ready to help you. These emergency personnel will risk their lives for you, but we don't want them to risk their lives for you. We really want you to take strongly the recommendation that we have to be out by Sunday, by 8 o'clock. So today, let's take care of the possessions and the pets, step one. So tomorrow, you can take care of yourself and move out Sunday night. Now, based on the crest and when it will hit and when it will recede, we think everybody can at least have access to their businesses, their homes, by Saturday. So from a planning standpoint, it's almost a week. So if you have medication, clothing, plan for a week. We'll move out tomorrow night at 8, and hopefully everybody will have access by Saturday. So plan for basically a week. And if the crest doesn't hit its level, then maybe we can get back in earlier. But for right now, we want you to plan on having access by next Saturday. So to everyone that's in the evacuation area, as you're shaking your head, thinking not again, or you're thinking, I'm not moving, please visit with your family, please visit with your friends, and understand by you not moving out, you are risking other people's lives and their families. After the flood of 2008, Mayor Halloran was able to stand up and say not a life was lost. And when you look at flooding around the country, not every mayor or community can say that. It is a dangerous situation. I hope next week, a week from today, I can stand before the people of Cedar Rapids and also proclaim the same thing that Mayor Halloran proclaimed, that no lives were lost. So I know it's a very difficult decision to leave your sanctuary, sacred place, especially for so many people who worked so hard to rebuild after 2008. So we're giving you some time. So let's take care of the possessions and the pets today, and some more yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, an opportunity now to ask any questions that either members of the public or the media have for us. Adam?
Yes, I've got a question in regards to the evacuation, and this is in regards to transportation for people that need a way out. I mean, I understand that that transportation will be coordinated probably to the 211 number, but will the the bus department, or for example, nonprofit agencies next, such as NPS, be offering those services to people to leave those areas?
Okay, I would like to call on Mike Goldberg, our Linn County Emergency Management Director, to address that question. Thank you.
Could you repeat the question?
Yes, I'll repeat all questions. This just had to do with providing transportation to the elderly or to people that need assistance.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff and Mayor. To address that question, the Linn County Emergency Operations Center has been open for the last few days, and we staffed up this morning with our transportation and human services contacts. We are set up to transport people who are currently registered under people with disabilities or special needs. If you are not registered, you should call into the Emergency Operations Center at 319-892-6500. Ask for our Human Services Desk. They will arrange for transportation if you do not currently have transportation. The rest of the Emergency Operations Center is being staffed up with secondary roads, people represented from all of our member jurisdictions, in which Cedar Rapids is a very capable one of our member jurisdictions. But at this point, we are staffed up because the city of Palo is evacuating about a quarter of their community. So we are assisting with the liaisons on that. So and launching the WAPSI at the same time. So.
Thank you, Mr. Goldberg. Yes, Representative State.
Thank you. I was just asked if they could coordinate that with 211 perhaps, so they don't have to have an additional number to call.
So Representative State mentioned coordination with 211. 211 is a very important service managed by Linn County United Way. If you need assistance, please call 211. If you would like to volunteer, you can do that through our website, cedar-rapids.org. And so it's very important that you not call 211 if you're a volunteer. Please only call 211 if you need assistance, and volunteer again through the website, cedar-rapids.org. Sir.
Pat Stepanek at Great America, 625 First Street Southeast. We have a crew for sandbagging and sand, but we're out of bags. That's question number one. Question number two, if the barriers are not penetrated and we have no water around our building, will we still have to wait for inspection to come back in afterwards?
So the first question had to do with if there's limited penetration, when can we get back in our building, what's the inspection process, and then also an issue regarding being out of sandbags. And for the sandbag question, we'll call on Jem Winter, our Public Works Director, and then Kevin Ciabatti will join us to talk about the inspection process.
If you are in need of bags, currently we have the 2 sandbagging operations in order. As far as distribution of large quantities to individual businesses, we have made a request to the EOC that at the current time, the bag distribution is occurring through those 2 locations at the old Kmart site and at Hawkeye Downs.
The inspection process will begin once water recedes and we can get staff in the area. Initially, we are doing an immediate inspection with fire personnel, and then after that, once we determine that initial inspection, we'll be back in areas that have sustained more damage to do a higher level of determination. If there's no immediate, or I should say if there's areas where water did not enter the building and so forth, we will release those on a sort of block-by-block basis. We'll be working with fire to do that, fire personnel. At this point, that's all I can really say at this point, how we're going to handle that.
Yes, sir. We'll get to everyone. We'll stay as long as we need to answer.
I have a question for the gentleman from the Lion.
Yes,
Is
Mr.
the
Cobb.
Czech Village business area specific for the business area only, or does it encompass part of the residential area around there?
Okay,
So when the power is turned off.
Gentleman's asking about impact of power turn off in Czech Village area.
So I'm going to ask Brad to actually come up, Brad Morgan's our regional director, and talk specifically about that. There's a block by block evaluation. And so we'll look at each individual block as we go. Our system is better equipped to do that now than in the past. So Brad, do you want to add anything? Brad, again, is our regional director for operations in Eastern Iowa.
I'm asking because the two blocks, the one that I live in and the one adjoining, were not flooded in 2008, but yet we were out of power for 7 days.
So what we'll be doing is, if individual homeowners call us to be disconnected because they know their home is going to be flooded, we'll go disconnect those. In some areas of the evacuation areas where we know it's imminent that the whole area is going to be underwater, we may take out sections of the grid. In some cases, there could be customers who don't actually have water in their home, but they're fed on that same section of grid. We're trying to minimize that, and that's why we're working block by block, and we'll try to just take off just those areas that we know are going to have water in them.
Will we get any warning about what time the power will be shut off?
We can try to make notifications to the public through our communication sources like we always do, that if we know we're going to shut some areas off. In some cases, though, it may be last minute because of the water, how quickly it rises.
Thank you.
Yes.
Are you going to have to close any portions of 380 going through downtown?
Question regarding closure of 380 downtown. Chief? Jen Winter, Public Works Director.
Yes, we are anticipating some closures of 380 downtown. The DOT, we are coordinating with the Iowa DOT on that. We anticipate that the downtown ramps will be changed to restricted access at some point during the day today. So some of our construction equipment and vehicles trying to build the protection systems will still be allowed in, but we're asking everyone else that will have to avoid the downtown 380 ramps. On the south end, the Wilson ramp will remain open, and at this time we anticipate leaving the U.S. Cellular exit open also.
Chief German, did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, covered, it's a DOT decision, but as of now, the interstate itself is remain open.
So again, this is a DOT decision. Chief is reiterating Director Winter's comments, but we'll stay closely monitoring that situation. Any other questions? All the way in the back of the camera. Chief English? This is a question regarding whether the evacuations are mandatory or optional.
Yes, thank you for the question. They are not mandatory, but they are highly recommended. Again, safety is the #1 issue, and if we can't get to your property, then it puts you at even further risk when there would have been or could have been an opportunity to leave when advised to leave. Thank you.
Yes, back there. Yes, sir.
Several years ago, we had some flooding in different sections, like on the northeast side, up by 16th Street and so forth. And what some of us were told was because the water levels were so high in the river, that the rainwater could not get out to the river, so it backed up. We had different pockets. Is there a possibility of that this time?
Gentleman is asking a question regarding potential flooding on the northeast side of Cedar Rapids. Director Winter.
Yes, there would again be potential for that. That's going to be very dependent on the amount of rain that we get over the next 48 hours until the river comes up and starts going back down. Right now we'll keep an eye on that. We're watching for it. Best case scenario is we're hoping for little to no rain in the coming days.
Can you identify now, so there's potential, the sections that could affect?
We have looked at identifying them. It's very dependent on where the actual rainfall falls. So it's dependent on how much rain we get and where within the city it falls.
And we'll be available, each of the directors will be available after this news conference to answer more specific questions if anyone has them. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Darren Fair, Cargill. Question about the curfew and the checkpoint process. So the curfew is enacted tonight, the checkpoint process tomorrow.
So this is a question from Cargill regarding curfew and checkpoint process. Chief German.
Yes, sir. The curfew will go into effect tomorrow at 8 p.m. in those areas that have been evacuated or affected by the floodwaters. The curfew we're asking is from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. At the checkpoints, if it's an employee who is an essential personnel that needs to get to their business, as long as they have identification to supply to the person manning the checkpoint, they'll be permitted to enter the facility that they are required to be there to operate whatever the services they have.
Thank you, Chief. Any further questions? I don't want to miss anybody. Okay, it's our commitment to stay connected and communicate with our citizens and our businesses. So we'll be having a daily news conference until it's no longer necessary. So the next news conference will be tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. in this very location. And as the event progresses, we will continue, again, these news conferences. Also, we advise everyone to utilize our website, cedar-rapids.org, and it's our intent to keep the most updated information there. Last, I'd like to conclude with a very important partner of the city of Cedar Rapids, our Red Cross, and citizen and volunteer and overall Red Cross committed individual, Peter Tian, is here to give us some very important information.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of the American Red Cross. In support of Linn County and the city of Cedar Rapids, Red Cross is officially opening a shelter at 11 o'clock this morning that will be located at Cedar Hills Community Church, which is at 6455 E Avenue Northwest. Residents who need a place to stay this evening and for the next week, as long as the need arises, can go to that shelter. We have another shelter tentatively scheduled to open tomorrow and additional shelters identified to open as needed. The shelter is open to everyone. Individuals with disabilities are also invited to this shelter. Cots will be provided, meals will be provided. We'll usually have health care and mental health services available. If you're coming to a shelter, you might want to bring your personal pillows and blankets and clothing. Always be sure to bring your medical supplies, your prescriptions, as the mayor indicated earlier, so that you can take care of yourself, and kids can bring toys and things, so you have a place to be safe. Because it is critical that you leave your homes when it's threatened as under the guidance of the city. You can always call 211 for additional shelter locations, or they'll also be located on Linn County and Cedar Rapids websites. As far as safety goes, as the mayor indicated, and we've heard from both police and fire chief and city manager comments, to not avoid the downtown area, but most importantly, avoid the water. Red Cross goes to a lot of disasters, and we know, as statistics show, the number one killer in natural disaster is floods. And it's the old saying is, don't drown, turn around, or turn around, don't drown. We've seen people who drive their cars through waters, and we've already had reportedly one death in Iowa of a car being washed away. Watch your children so that they're not playing around flooded streets or culverts and get sucked into the water. Moving water is extremely dangerous. And Red Cross encourages safety around water and watching to make sure that your kids and yourselves are doing this the smart way. Also watch taking care of your neighbors. As they're trying to evacuate, you may have some elderly neighbors in your neighborhood, maybe next door. You may have folks with disabilities. Check in with them, making sure they're okay, help them get out. And if you need assistance, again, call Linn County Emergency Management for those with disabilities, or call 211 for assistance as far as helping your neighbor get out. So if you have any questions for Red Cross, I'll be here, but we'll be posting notices for additional shelters to be open. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. One other question came up, and that's if someone is at a called human shelter and they need transportation for their pet to the city shelter, we can arrange for that. So Diane Weber will make those arrangements, and you can receive information on that on our website as well. Thank you very much. Appreciate everybody being here, and please watch our website. And we also appreciate members of the media for everything they're doing to get the word out to our public.